Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Tier 9 German medium tank, the E50. Now, this vehicle, of course, comes right before the Tier 10 German, the E50M. And both of these vehicles, I guess, kind of like the Panther and as well the Panther 2, boast very strong frontal armor. In fact, the upper plate on the E50 can bounce a lot of premium shells from Tier 8 and as well Tier 9 vehicles. Tier 10, yeah, like an IS-4, it'll probably go right through the upper plate, but still, it's impressive that your upper plate is strong in the first place. It carries a very solid gun, sitting at 350 average damage, the high explosive actually dealing some of the highest damage you will find for a 10.5 at 450, and as well, it's got decent damage per minute at 2630. It's got a good amount of penetration at 231 on the standard, although the premium does struggle quite a bit at 284, and I'm actually running calibrated, so it does struggle quite a bit on the penetration. And I actually tried the other gun on the tank, but it's the same aiming time, pretty much the same penetration as you can see, a little bit worse, and there's really no point to run it over running the top gun, as I have learned, but the E50 really is a joy to run. I've been playing it today, and in fact, I had a big winning streak, as you can see here, and it in fact went longer on than that. I had about, I think, 20 or so games in a row that I won solo, which is kind of crazy, so I figured, you know what, I'm enjoying the tank so much, why not make a video on it? So it's kind of like the E50M's playstyle. It's got good frontal armor. The lower plate, of course, is weak, but you can angle it pretty dang nicely. You get a bunch of auto ricochets on the lower plate. The upper plate is also very, very sturdy. The issues with the E50M occur when you're aiming at vehicles like the IS-4, or when you're trying to deal with hull-down tanks like an STB-1. The turret armor, unlike the E50M, is very, very weak. Like 200 millimeters of pen, and I think you can actually overmatch the entire flat plate of the turret. It's kind of like a stock Tiger turret, or like when you see an E75 running the Tiger 2 turret. It's very, very weak. And the issue with that is when you're trying to peek and when you're trying to snap people, your hull armor may be good, but of course you have to expose your turret to hit people because that's where your gun's mounted. So it does come with a couple set of drawbacks. Now, the enemy team has got the STB, they've got a T92-1, and that's all they have for the mediums. Now, I have to be careful because you'll notice my team isn't really supporting me at all. So there's the STB off to the side. We aren't really able to get us a nice snap into him. Actually, we might know just bouncing off the side of him. Now, gun depression, I think it's 5 degrees over the front, which you can see here isn't the best. It looks to be about 5, but the sides are actually 8, which is nice. So that means that if you're angling it correctly over the sides, you can get some nice bounces. Now, that was a 460 damage shell, probably coming either from the Tiger or as well the VK45. Don't you love how I pronounce all the German names? But right now, I got to be careful. The T92 went all the way onto the side. Not much he can do to me. The 50, you'll notice, is also quite a quick vehicle. And there's the Hori actually spotted. Let's aim it on the side of him. You will notice the aiming time is not the best. It does struggle, and I don't want to be hit by the Hori, but I angled it correctly, and because of that, we were able to get a very, very nice bounce right on the tank. You will see that the gun does occasionally bounce at shots like that one there. Missed just a little bit off to the side from where I was trying to aim, but the second shell going exactly where I aimed. Again, that Hori missing me, which means we can continue to sling some premium shells at him, maybe overmatch his armor again. There you go, nice overmatch once again there. We got the IS-4 off to the side, and we're going to reload in just a couple more seconds here. We're going to aim it on this Hori and fire. There you go, bouncing off my upper plate once again. You can really see that the armor on this tank is quite impressive. It gets a lot of bounces. Now, that last bounce honestly wasn't to be expected. I kind of thought that that one was going to pen me, but I was willing to take the trade just to finish off the Hori, but it looks like we got lucky and he bounced us as it was hitting our upper plate. Now, we got the STB-1 off to the side, the IS-4 and the VK45 as well over here, which are very, very strong Tier 9 and Tier 10 vehicles. So let's aim it on for the VK first of all. Let's aim in right for that lower plate, try and back up. He actually is going to have a very tough time trying to pen me, of course, because of the angle I'm at. I'm actually perfectly hiding my weak lower plate, and all they can see is my upper plate. But you'll notice I have an issue. I'm about to be out of premium shells because I don't carry many on this vehicle, which means, yeah, I'm not going to be able to really pen this guy. Well, I guess we can. We're going to start using standard just for now in case I need to load premium, but yeah, let's see if we can pen him with standard again. Come on, aim, fire. No, you can see the issues with this vehicle. It does struggle with penetration. It's not necessarily the best. Now, we got the STB off to the side, who, of course, I'm going to try and snap, but with that not so great DPM, it's good, but it's not necessarily the best. The thing I really like about this tank is the alpha. Being able to trade with other Tier 10 mediums with this vehicle is something that's very nice, and it's actually kind of a luxury, because as you can see there, we tapped that IS-4 for 340, which you really can't do with, you know, a vehicle like the T-54. Now, of course, the T-54 is not sitting as much alpha as you'd expect in the first place, but it's kind of nice that you have the ability to tap people for quite a bit as it is. Let's aim in for the side of the VK. Oh, you can see gun depression over the rear. Yeah, kind of non-existent. So we got the Got a Tiger right over here. Let's aim in right on his lower plate. Nice tap. Not only that, but lighting him on fire for a big old fire. 600 damage there. It's not like we're going to be able to get a shell into him again, so let's aim in, turn our tank to the side, getting that gun depression off there. Nice tracking shell into the side of the mill. And this is what makes the E50 such a strong vehicle. You can see it's not necessarily the strongest in every scenario, and it will struggle trying to get out some shells, but in the long run, if this mill, hopefully he's just going to peek it. I'm trying to expose my whole side so he kind of baits for it, but honestly, he's not really falling for it right now. Let's aim in a shell. Nice little shot right in between the cracks of the building there, or I guess not really a building, but a pillar, should I say, and all we have left is the mill on the enemy team, who hopefully we should be able to get some nice shells into if we play this correctly. So there's one nice tap and maybe a little bit of a love tap. Kaboom, maybe smash him into the back wall. No, he's pending us. We can't really do much again, but nice shot from the scent, finishing him off. Didn't mean to block my IS-4 there, but a very, very solid game coming out for the first battle in the E50, and you can see what makes it so strong. That was a 5,000 damage mastery. Like, you don't really get that much, and it's just been pulling out crazy games like this all day. It has the ability to trade with enemy opponents, as I said. It has the ability to bounce shells. You saw I bounced 5 shells this game. That's impressive. Not only did I bounce shells, but I was literally in a tier 10 match fighting an IS-4, fighting the STB-1, not even worrying about them because of how strong this vehicle is. And it really makes you feel well when you manage to finish top on the team in a tier 9 medium. So, of course, let's get stuck into one more battle. Now, the thing about the E50 is that it's a really solid tank for the armor profile. It's kind of like a heavy tank. It's like you grabbed a Tiger 2, and then you just brought it up a tier, and you gave it a little bit more mobility, and as well, a different kind of gun. The issues arise with the E50 is against tier 10s, and of course, we're not against tier 10s this game. This is where it's really strong. But against tier 10s, they not only easily penetrate right through that turn armor, like every tank can easily overmatch that turn armor. But the biggest issue I find with the E50 is the penetration. 286 on premium is really weak. That means that normally, when I'm running an E50M, I can easily butter right through a 140's turret with premium or a 62A. You can't do that with an E50 because it's got so little penetration on the premium that you actually can't overmatch a T62A's turret. Not necessarily the best thing going for it. So it does have a lot of drawbacks. And as well, that gun depression over the front can be quite annoying. Like you can see here, if I was using it frontally, which is where your strong armor is, well, yeah, you're not going to be shooting the opponents. So it looks like they actually pushed town, which is good and bad for me. The nice thing about being a medium with the capabilities of a heavy is that I can work actually in the town quite well. But at the same time, I can work quite well in dunes using my gun depression if I manage to angle correctly. Now, I was spotted, which is not what I want because the enemy vehicles might be waiting around this corner for me. Yeah, they aren't. Oh, nope, they are. That's what I expected. And he got a very nice snap right into my front track wheel, which is the big weak spot with the E50, is that front track wheel. Now, we got him trying to side scrape here, and honestly, he's doing a decent job at it, but he did over-angle there big time, which means that we're able to get one nice tap in. He's going to get tapped into the Centurion there. We're going to see again if we can get another shell into the... Oh, there you go. Another nice tap into that object, 252. So we've already managed to take off quite a healthy chunk of his hit points. And the nice thing is that we actually have the same hit points as tier 8 heavies. So if I'm playing a tier 8 heavy, you're actually not too far off. Now there's a nice tap into the Chrysler K. With Adrenaline on, we should be able to out-reload him, but he might just be able to back up here. Yeah, he was just able to back up, which means there's not much I can do about that. But we're not going to try and deal with that Chrysler. I'm going to try and help out my teammate from the object 252. We're going to see maybe if we can get a good side-scraping angle here, or we could just rush around the corner. But we're going to try and side-scrape it, of course, because that's what the E50 is really good at doing. So if we play this correctly and we use our cards right, we should be able to not only pen this guy right in the upper plate, although maybe not. It's about a 50-50, actually penning the 252. It's a really tricky tank to pen, but we're doing a good job of side-scraping here, and if I do it, there you go. That's what we were waiting for, getting that bounce, and then we should be able to tap him right in the upper plate. Nice tap there. We are getting a little bit of pressure on the side, at least from the Type 61 as well, but we should be able to finish off this 252 with a nice upper plate tap, and now we can start dealing with tanks like the T-34. If we actually push up here and we assert our dominance, bounce, we can easily hold this line, not only against the Type 61, but as well against this T-34. If I'm able to angle it correctly again, you're going to get really, really nice bounces. And as you can see, he's not even shooting at me. So this is why I love the E50, is the ability to get these big shots out on the enemy tanks. And the great thing is that a lot of people don't know is the HE damage is actually 450 average on this vehicle, meaning that I can really easily rip apart a tank like the Type 61 here. And in fact, if we get one more HE out, which we did, and we give him a little bit of a lub tap, he should actually be taken out, which we did do correctly. So all we have left is the enemy T-34, who we actually might be able to tap, which I was going to say we might be able to tap an HE into, but no, doesn't look like we could pen the HE on the side of him. But nonetheless, a very, very solid game. We were able to come out there with 3,000, almost 700 damage. Yeah, there you go, 3,700 damage, a nice victory. And this is honestly what makes the E50 such a strong vehicle, is the capabilities, not only in a tier 8 battle, to absolutely demolish enemy tanks. You can see there, even against an Object 252, a T-34, I was able to bounce a lot of shells. If you angle it correctly, if you know how to wiggle, you can really do a fantastic job in this vehicle. My personal opinion is the E50 is one of the strongest tier 9 mediums in the game. There are a couple other mediums that are good, like the Top Gun on the Leopard is very solid. The M48 Patton's got a very nice Top Gun as well. The Type 61, even though I think that it's really bad for the armor, the gun is fantastic for the pen, which is something that's really nice. It's actually a tier 10 medium gun. So a lot of vehicles have nice guns in tier 9 mediums, and this one has got a nice gun. It's got good penetration for at least the standard. As I said, the premium struggles. It's got good alpha damage, and as well, it's got fantastic mobility with the armor added on. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, as it helps out the channel a crazy amount. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and to be seeing you in the next one.